What do they want to build there instead? A luxury tennis resort. Vashti nodded. How much are they offering? She asked, taking a sip of her tea. 10 million. Vashti nearly choked. $10 million? That's nearly double what I was asking for. Yes, but the developers are eyeing the land next to it as well. I think they're hoping that one day Reed LaCroix will cave and sell his property. When he does, the developers will pounce on the opportunity to get their hands on it and build that golf resort they've been trying to put there for years. Getting your land will put their foot in the door, so to speak. Vashti took another sip of her tea. What other problems are there? This one is big. Mayor Proctor got wind of their offer and figured you might sell. He's calling a meeting. A meeting? Yes, of the Catalina Cove Zoning Board. Although they can't stop you from selling the inn, they plan to block the buyer from bringing a tennis resort in here. The city ordinance calls for the zoning board to approve all new construction. This won't be the first time developers wanted to come into the cove and build something the city planners reject. Remember years ago when that developer wanted to buy land on the East End to build that huge shopping mall? The zoning board stopped it. They're determined that nothing in Catalina Cove changes. Well, it should change. As far as Vashti was concerned, it was time for Mayor Proctor to get voted out. He had been mayor for over 30 years. When Vashti had left Catalina Cove for college 14 years ago, developers had been trying to buy up the land for a number of progressive projects. The people of Catalina Cove were the least open-minded group she knew. Vashti loved living in New York City, where things were constantly changing, and people embraced those changes. At 18, she had arrived in the city to attend New York University and remained after getting a job with a major hotel chain. She had worked her way up to her 6-figure salary as a hotel executive. At 32, she considered it her dream job. That wasn't bad for someone who started out working the concierge desk. Unless the Bonds Group can build whatever they want without any restrictions, there won't be a deal for us. Vashti didn't like the sound of that. 10 million was 10 million, no matter how you looked at it. Although I wouldn't want them to tear down Shelby, I think my aunt would understand my decision to do what's best for me. And the way Vashti saw it, $10 million was definitely what would be best for her. Do you really think she would want you to tear down the inn? She loved that place. Vashti knew more than anyone how much Shelby by the Sea had meant to her aunt. It had become her life. Aunt Shelby knew there was no way I would ever move back to Catalina Cove after what happened. Mom and Dad even moved away. There's no connection for me to Catalina Cove. Hey, wait a minute, Vash. I'm still here. Vashti smiled, remembering how her childhood friend had stuck with her through thick and thin. Yes, you're still there, which makes me think you need your head examined for not moving away when you could have. I love Catalina Cove. It's my home, and need I remind you that for 18 years it was yours too. Don't remind me. Look, I know why you feel that way, Vash, but are you going to let that one incident make you have ill feelings about the town forever? It was more than an incident, Bryce, and you know it. For Vashti, having a baby out of wedlock at 16 had been a lot more than an incident. For her, it had been a life changer. She had discovered who her real friends were during that time. Even now, she would occasionally wonder how different things might have been had her child lived instead of died at birth. Sorry, bad choice of words, Bryce said, with regret in her voice. No worries. That was 16 years ago. No need to tell Bryce that on occasion she allowed her mind to wander to that period of her life, and often grieved for the child she'd lost. She had wanted children, and Scott had promised they would start a family one day. That had been another lie. Tell me what I need to do to beat the zoning board on this, Bryce, Vashti said, her mind made up.